Welcome, everybody. It's Nezarek Sins. I am your host today, and it's another lovely late night talk on the podcast. I'm aware I'm by myself. Hopefully, I'll get some people to join in, but I'm not holding anybody to it, so I'm just gonna go ahead and jump right into it. Today, background video is gonna be a little bit more of a paid sponsorship, and not really paid. I paid for it, in other words. So basically, the background content is Nakara Blade Point, and it is a battle royale that is like, it's not melee based, but it's melee forward, if that makes sense. And so you get a lot of different options, like a spear, nunchucks, regular sword, big sword, fist. Well, your default is kind of a fist. You still have guns, kind of like so this kind of like old Japan, so you have like a repeating bow shot or a hand cannon of a pistol, or it just kind of depends. So the background content is going to be that right now, and I literally just received an email yesterday saying that they went free and they have a login event, so it's definitely going to be something going to be featured in the background, so y'all know what's going on and all this fun stuff. Originally, when I played, I had a lot of issues with like server times and loads, and I jumped to different like time frames and server queues, like East Coast, West Coast, China. I just jumped around and it was horrible. But now it's not bad. It's not good, but I'm not gonna hold it to them. Anyways, getting into the podcast, the meat and potatoes, if you will. My past week has been quite adventurous. I actually sat down and wrote notes this week, and a few talking points that I want to bring up, how things that happened. So of course, last week I said I needed a structure. So if you guys are taking notes at home yourself, my structure so far is life, advertisements, then video games, and then rambles. Basically, rambles being like updates, ideas, challenges, YouTube ideas that I never listen back to unless I write down, and I haven't checked those notes. Anyways, but to start off, Dante. So, my son. If you guys don't know, if you just joined now, I'm sorry. I have a son, and I really hate that I'm not the people who like play Valorant, and that should be next week's. I'm gonna write that down. Anyways, there's a TikTok that I watch that is there's mother, cool dad, and then dad, and they all play Valorant, which I understand is a high context kind of video game, but I'm not one of those cool guys. I couldn't put out the videos just as long. And cool dad is just a cool dad. Mother and dad, or is it mother and father? I don't remember. Mother is her kid is literally a few months ahead of mine, so it's crazy to watch her kid grow, and it's just like, hey, I want to give you updates, but at the same time I'm sure I'm like everybody else to her. Anyways, my dog, I'm just reading words at this point. My son met a dog that he hasn't seen before. If you all don't know, I do have two dogs, but they're very small. They're Pomeranian Schnauzer mixes, and they're more or less a runt of the litters, but they're still cute in their own ways. One's more Schnauzer and one's more Pom, so I feel like it's a good balance. So with that being said, I got, let's see, what do I got? So I was walking the dogs one day, and so I went outside, and as soon as I put my dog's leashes on, my son ran up to me. He was like, it was so cute because he sat on the ground, and where his shoes were, he started to try to put them on his feet. And mind you, this kid is less than 2 years old, and he's already trying to put his own shoes on. It's so adorable. It was definitely a dad moment where I was just like, oh, I love my son. I'm happy to be a father, and witness these situations. There's some situations where I wish I can just back out and rewind. But so I get his shoes on, I get the dogs, we go outside. The dogs are starting to pee, and then out of nowhere they start barking, and they yank the opposite direction. I'm trying to watch my son, and then I see this giant like behemoth of a dog come up, and it's a husky. And the best way I can describe this dog is the average human height is about 5'7". The dog's standing height, the top of his fluff, was probably a solid 5 foot. Like, I was almost eye to eye to this dog, and I'm like 6 foot. It was adorable dog. A large, I guess Siberian Husky. I don't know how you wanna. I forgot the technical name of this dog, but it was so beautiful, so big. And the owner told me, "Oh yeah, sorry, my dog loves kids. That's why she came over here." I'm like, "Oh, I don't think my son has seen a bigger dog." And of course, he's already standoffish at this point. He's slowly backing into me, trying to run away from this dog. And the dog's just kind of like getting closer, like, "Hey, how you doing? What you up to?" And my dogs are freaking out because it's another dog, and they're smelling them, running back, smelling them, running back, smelling them. And then within this chaos, my son slowly starts to reach his hand out and grab the hair of the dog. And like, I don't mean like grab the hair and yank, like touch, like, "Oh, this is a dog, this is a creature, and it won't hurt me," kind of. You know, it was cute, but it was just like a mind expanding moment. And so we chatted up a bit. She told me how it was her mother-in-law's dog, and that I'm like, "Oh yeah, I've seen your husband or somebody else bring out the other dog, and he's just as beautiful." She goes, "Yeah, they're in the set for sure." And I'm like, "Okay, let me get going so they can get situated." And we're walking off, and my son kind of starts to throw a tantrum. My dogs decide to poop both at the same time because they were excited, blah blah blah. So I get the doggy bags, picking up the poop, and my smart self's idea was, "Here, let me wrap around my son with the dog leash so he doesn't." And these are like retractable leashes, so they're not like constricting, but it did throw him in a loop. He's like, "What is this?" And I figured it bought me enough time to throw away the dog poo and get back to him and unravel him and be on our way. When I walked back up to him, he was, trying to get it off, and then I helped him, and he looked back and he tried to run back towards the dog. And I said no, and I grabbed his hand, and of course the tantrum of a child started to slide down to the ground and cry. And I was trying to get him up and situated, and then here she comes up again behind us. "I'm sorry, my dog saw your son fall, and she wanted to see if he was okay." At this point, he's trying to pet her again and interact with her, and he's just the dog is trying to like lean into him, and oh, it was so cute. It was such a wholesome moment. But it was definitely a moment where you're just like, "Yeah, I'm a good dad." For the most part. Like, yeah, he did fall down and cry, but not enough to hurt himself. With that being said, I'm going to move on to the next point, which is a very basic point, is that YouTube has a podcast function that I didn't know that they included with the YouTube Studio. So, of course, if you're listening on YouTube, you have a podcast function. Yeah, the video will play in the background, but you are able to minimize it and listen to it like a podcast. And anytime you're able to pop it open and actually watch what the background content is, given a lot of the background content is literally just quote unquote noise, till I actually, video myself during this podcast. I don't really need to, but maybe with more people I might. Anyways, but yeah, so I noticed that. So all my podcasts that are uploaded to YouTube will be under that function. They'll still be on their own playlist together, because I have a list that is podcast archive, and that's basically, if you just sit there and listen, it's the entire podcasts and the ones I've done in the past. Coffee. Why did I put coffee? I mean, I know why I put coffee. So with that being said, moving on. Coffee. Question mark. That's literally what I wrote down. I really should just brief sentences on like the key point that connects these thoughts together or something, because I don't know what You guys like coffee? I like coffee. This would be a great spot for an ad. I am highly caffeine addicted, and I am slowly starting to wean off to the idea of like the amount of caffeine I'm consuming a day has gone towards 2 energy drinks plus a cup of coffee to coffee. So I think the point I was wanting to get across is that I had a lot of coffee in the past, and this coffee that I recently come across it was called Bones Coffee, and you can find it on Amazon, and it's really nice. And I wanted to try something else because I was like deadheading the what is that called, Black Rifle coffee. And I've tried them all. They all taste the same. They're all dark roast, they're all light roast, they're all 300 milligrams of caffeine per cup of coffee, and it was good. But I was just like, I need flavor coffee. I need to try something outside of my circle, outside of the dark roast. And so I decided to talk to people at work, and somebody who makes espressos for a living was like, hey, try this coffee. This is one that will kind of get you off the dark roast path. I go, how so? He goes, it's a dark roast, but it tastes like flavors. So I'm like, what kind of flavors? He goes, I don't know. The most obscure one. I can't talk today. I do these podcasts every week, and I still can't talk. So he was like, peanut butter and jelly. I go, coffee. He goes, yes, peanut butter and jelly coffee. So of course I was quick to Google it, found it on Amazon. Bean was $14, grounds was like $17, and I was looking, so I clicked on like the seller, and it shows you all the different recipes, different flavors that they have, and one of them was Irish cream, which I ended up getting, and then they have like donut glaze and cookies and cream. Can you imagine a cookies and cream coffee? That'd be great with like cookies and cream protein mix. I wonder if that would be a combination. But coffee, I mean, it's mochas at that point. But yeah, so I tried this coffee. I liked it. Ironically, I use Irish cream, the International Delight Irish cream, and this is probably super boring for some people. I'm so sorry. These are just topics I just wrote down. I'm so sorry. But yeah, coffee's good. I would prefer energy drinks, but it costs too much now, and inflation is just fucking stupid. Let's get back onto the proper path. So I've come to a situation where work has given me a couple of extra days off. They're like, hey, you work so hard, we see it, and we're gonna reward you with physical days off. And with that being said, I need you to put in days off, basically. I mean, that's what the emails literally said. I'm like, hey, you need to use these before the end of the year. So I'm like, okay, is there any events showing up at the end of the year that I want to be a part of? Something that I could bring the family with, something that, you know, kind of focuses around, I mean, not to sound selfish, but it is selfish, that focuses around me and my topics and my likings. And the short answer is video games. So you look into video game conventions or events or things that would happen. There's this event called Land All Night that happens in October. That's a little bit too far out. I already have a vacation around that time, and we tend to go out of country for that. I need to get a passport. Anyways, so okay, what else is there? There's something in August. I am in Texas, so there's the yearly QuakeCon over at the Gaylord, and it's a convention. I mean, I would go to DreamHack, but we had that back in August. What's that name? Not August, April. They had that in April. Why is there so many A's in the damn calendar year? I say a lot. Today is gonna be called The Stories of That's what I'm gonna name it. Anyways, so I decided to take the two most critical days, which is Saturday and Sunday, which normally I work those days, and I decided to, request those 2 days off, and they approved it. It took a little finagling because I worked 10-hour shifts, but they approved it nonetheless. So not to give away my schedule or anything, but Thursday is like the starting day. I can technically not go, but at the same time, it's one of those things where, oops, I called in, kind of thing, or trade shifts or something. I don't know. Can we do that? Can we trade shifts? Take over somebody's shift. I forget what the wording is. Basically, take over. No, it's take shift. No, work in somebody. I don't know. I'm not gonna think about this anymore. Anyways, either call in or work somebody else's shift on that day, so I can, or take their off out. I don't know. Anyway, so I can have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and have Monday off as well, and then Tuesday to recuperate. Like call in that day or something. So I basically have a week off, and again with the ums. I wonder if I can I need just silence. It'd be best for the damn silence key. So I'm gonna take those days off. Is there anything planned? There's it's a convention for more or less, so a lot of things are gonna happen there. It's a convention owned by Bethesda, and Bethesda by Bethesda I mean Xbox, and the Xbox I mean Microsoft. So technically it's a PC convention made by Microsoft without doing all the dirty work. And then of course they have tournaments and LAN party and vendors. Yeah, vendors is the word I was looking for the other day. I was trying to talk to people about it. And typically they have like booths with up and coming games or expansions or things like that. So definitely it's gonna be a thing. I would go to DreamHack, but I feel like I pay more for DreamHack than QuakeCon. QuakeCon's like $80. So with that said, I'm gonna try to finance. This is a horrible podcast. If you came in on this one, I am so sorry. I need structure. I have the structure. It's written out in front of me. But like, oh my god, I forgot to do the most important thing. So we're just gonna continue on. Advertisements. Very straight up. As you guys do or don't know, I have a YouTube channel. If you're listening on YouTube, I'm sorry. I kind of have to repeat this. With that being said, alright, so YouTube. So being on the YouTube platform allowed me to do the podcasting, and so when you go to upload a video on YouTube, you have the YouTube Studio, and when you click on it, it tells you like your most recent video uploaded, and the views that it's received, and the watch time it's gained, or the click rate, and things like that. And it's just a very small snippet of your analytics. But you must understand, I had this YouTube channel for about 5+ years. This channel specifically, 5+ years, and I've done over 500 lives. Like I went live on YouTube over 500 times. I have roughly 80 videos, and these videos can be just posted live from Twitch, or they could be very chopped up versions of my Twitch. Basically, I did a lot on Twitch. Or I tried to make videos on YouTube, and you just post them to YouTube themselves. So the thing is, with that being said, I was able to look at my analytics almost instantly as soon as I uploaded last week's podcast. And I went to bed and I left the studio up, and because it has to upload, right? So I left the browser up and I went to bed, woke up, did my thing I do in the morning, and I came back and I looked at my podcast, and it said that I had 1 viewer, 1 like, and the full duration of the video watched. And I panicked. I'm like, what is this? Somebody actually watched my stuff? Somebody listened to me? Somebody wants to be a part of this mess? And I saw that I had a +2 subscriber rate for this month, which is fine considering it's a new month. But I was blown away. I was just like, wait a minute, what's going on? Am I actually doing something? I mean, I am being consistent, but does it mean I'm actually doing something? So I was just kind of like, oh, okay. So what I think actually happened is that so on the habits of working social media is once you post something, you got to post somewhere else that you posted it, so other people can basically click on it and listen to or watch or whatever. And on my Discord, I have a spot for promotions, and I literally copy and paste the podcast link because, you know, everybody totally uses those. And I'm like, oh yeah, and I literally typed in, by the way, on my YouTube there's a video format of this, because some of my friends, one of my friends, great friend, love him to death, he, from when I worked with him, he would watch YouTube videos in his pocket. Essentially, he would put on a topic and just run YouTube and just like put the phone down and work. And it was his version of podcasts, basically, without the video itself. Even though they had video elements, he would still like listen. And then if it was a thing that he needed to see, he would actually step away, rewind it, and rewatch it, blah blah blah. Which is fine. I'm not against it. I was kind of on the whole, you gotta be Spotify premium, blah blah blah. But so it might have been him. And buddy, if you're listening to this, I appreciate it. Fall asleep to it, I don't care. But yeah, I just, you know, I honestly thought it was because I turned my Discord into a business Discord because I am a streamer, and it's because I have the server boosted that somebody finally saw it and they're like, hey, I mean, look at that shit. I don't know, it was a mid panic for no reason. It was just, I don't know why it made me panic. Literally, I'm like, oh shit, I need to do something. I need to be better. Let me write down these notes that do not make any sense. And but yeah, if you want to join the Discord, links down below. I have my link tree down below, which has links to everything: my TikTok, my Discord, my discount link for W energy drinks. Also has a link to my Twitch. I for a while I wanted to put a embedded YouTube video, so anytime I would go live, or what is it called, it would play like past streams or something. And with the way my Twitch is right now, I don't think that's a good idea, because they've done some stuff that I gotta go back and fix, which is fine. It's just, it takes time, and I don't have time right now, and I don't have money to make other people do the things for me, so it's gonna take time. If you guys want to watch me grow and help me out, feel free, but that's where I'm kind of standing on all of that stuff. Last but not least, video games. We're finally on the topic that I'm sure everybody's here for: video games. Again, in the background you got Naraka Blade Point. I'm gonna be honest with you, I haven't recorded the background content yet because I don't got time to do shit. So literally, the video part of it is after the audio part, because I can't multitask. You should know this. I can't multitask. If I do multitask, it's only talking on key subjects. So background contents are car, Blade Point. Am I good? No. Am I okay? Yes. But with that being said, Apex. New season's about to drop. It dropped Watson's, not Watson, ooh, wrong time frame. Horizon's Heirloom, which is basically a black hole flail, which is really cool. And apparently it has a good lore, what is it called? Lore loophole? Like, it has a really good lore with the heirloom, which is cool. Destiny. So literally last week I said I was gonna, I'm not gonna play Destiny until they drop the last piece of the exotic quest for the fishing, because I want to do everything at once. So guess what? Monday, streaming Destiny, 100% content on Destiny. Gonna try to push everything. If y'all want to come in and help, hit me up on Discord. There is a spot on Discord for roles for Guardians, so I'll tag Guardians when I do stream to see if anybody wants to join me, because I do need to complete the dungeon. If you guys literally want to walk me through it, more than welcome. Where's all my video games so I can tell you what I've been doing? Video games, I've been playing though. What is that shit called? Cyberpunk 2077 has some DLC that's dropping in September. So I was trying to get the story down, at least one of the endings. I haven't finished it because I'm literally at the same point I am when I stopped playing the game, so I'm gonna continue and actually play the game. If you guys want to see me play that on Twitch, just hit me up, because that shit is a little mature, and I tried to stream it last time, and there's a lot of, you have to stream this as a mature game and certain people can't blah blah blah. Twitch is just anyways. Near, so I wanted my background content to be Near Automata, the first Near game, or technically the second, that was on my computer, but I didn't have time to record it, and then when I went to go save it, it was like, hey, you gotta finish the prologue in order to save, and I'm like, I'm already 30 minutes in. I don't have time. My time cap is 40 minutes. I have to leave, kind of thing. So it's just sitting there laughing at me. I played Halo Infinite the last week. It was not, I mean, I'm not following any of the content for Halo Infinite, but I'm not mad. They had an event or something going on, bonus points, extra, what is it called? Cosmetics, double points, however you want to say it. And then I also played Final Fantasy 16's demo again, but this time I didn't take off the timing rings that they give you for assistance on dodge, and I literally finished it in under 30 minutes. So if that says something about this game type, I mean, my TikTok feed is constantly filled with people playing like bits and pieces, because I refuse to watch it, of people playing Final Fantasy. I'm just like, oh yeah, I need to do that. I need to get the game. I need to play it. But yeah. And to wrap things up, something I wanted to do every single time I talk about video games is today, on this day in video game history, what games have come out on July 7th within the years. It could be as far back as this website I'm using, which is Game FAQs, has as back as 34 years ago, on 1989, a game that was released in Japan, Blazing Lasers. Or normally tells me what games this is for. Just click on it. It was for you're not helping me here. What was it? It's not telling me. I don't know. It's just a shooter game apparently. It's probably on the NES or arcade. Samurai Showdown, Final Fantasy 6. No, that's Final Fantasy 4 for the PlayStation. Oh, that's the game station. Oh shit, it's a TurboGrafx 16. I don't know what that is. Arcade games was Samurai Showdown in 1993. Final Fantasy 4 or 9. Would have been 9, yeah. Back in 2000, 23 years ago. Holy shit, bro. See, that really puts in like Final Fantasy 9 for PlayStation 1. What's this game about? I forget. Where's he's just gonna give me the trailer? How could you? Oh yeah, I didn't play this game. I forgot the name of the main character of this game. Lobtis Telenius. I don't know. I can read synopsis all day. Anything that's actually worth it. Unturned for PC and Linux 8 years ago. That puts into Super Box Delivery Beyond the Horizon came out this year on Nintendo Switch. The fuck? Are these releases today? Yeah. Feeble Lights for Nintendo Switch, PC, PlayStation 4, and PlayStation 5. Full Quiet for Nintendo Switch and Xbox One. Legend of Heroes Trails into the Ravine on Nintendo Switch, PC, PlayStation. Just came out today. I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, that's what came out today. Today in the history of video games. Again, if you guys enjoyed the content, hit me up on all the platforms. If you enjoyed the content on YouTube, go ahead and hit the red button. You don't have to do the bell, just hit the button. I don't care about the bell. Nobody does. Anyways, Have a good one, guys. This is Nezrexin signing off. Have a good day, night. I don't know. Have a good one.